What's up, everybody? This is Zen Viking, and I thought I'd throw a little bit of a concept, philosophy, and a little bit of interesting video, and answer a question that I get sometimes. So I guess I won't start with what inspired the video, but I'll start with the question itself. Zen Viking, why would you pay $50 for a dang flashlight? Believe it or not, I get asked things like that a lot. And it's a difficult question to answer, but there's a sort of philosophical answer and there's a specific answer. Or a bigger picture answer and a smaller picture answer. What I'm getting at is, like, why would somebody pay $50 for anything? Right? Why would you pay $50 for a thing? Especially if it's a thing that is not big. And this is certainly not very big. Flashlight. I have other bigger ones. The size is an issue. You know, like, there's women who pay $350 for a pair of shoes. A pair of high-heeled shoes that are hard to walk in. Why would they do that? Because they're into it. You know? And on one level, dude, I'm just into flashlights. I always have been. You know, I just like them. They're really cool. Ever since I was a little kid, I've been into flashlights. I remember I would have a flashlight, go outside, you know, turn the flashlight on, look around, and, you know, be able to sneak around in the night, have fun. You know, flashlight underneath the bed, read your comic book at night. You know, it's fun, man. So, that's one side of it. One side of it is, it's just something I'm into. It's just something I enjoy. And I tell you what, you name just about anything on the face of the earth, and somebody is interested in that item enough that they'll pay $50 for it, or more. Look at what people pay for sports memorabilia, you know? The only difference between sports and flashlights and, you know, like high-heeled shoes or fashion or cars is popularity. It's not really popular to be into flashlights. Most people would rather be into sports, would rather be into jewelry, you know, whether it's men's jewelry or women's jewelry. You know, I know some men, specifically a gentleman who I like very much and I admire, but who laughed at me that I asked why I would pay $50 for a flashlight. And I specifically know that he has a collection of, you know, $50 to $100 watches. You know, he was just into watches, you know. Probably more of a normal thing than being into flashlights. And I tell you what, there's weirder things than flashlights to be into. If I were to show you my yo-yo collection, you'd think I was completely insane. But really, I'm not. I'm just the same as everybody else. It's just that I'm into things that aren't as popular. Okay. So, there's that part of it. I'm just into flashlights. Now, if you're on board and you're like, okay, well, you're into flashlights, what is it you like about flashlights so much? Dude, flashlights are practical. Flashlights are practical. Today, I had an unresponsive patient, and we were worried about this patient, and I'm not going to get into the specifics, but long story short, it became necessary to try to wake this patient up, and because they were kind of sleeping and kind of wouldn't wake up, and we want to do it without hurting them. You know, we don't want to hurt nobody. So I had the idea of turning this flashlight on to high, which I just did, and put it in their eyes. Oh, I thought I did. And of course, you can see nothing with a light that bright, and you're bound to react to it. They didn't, unfortunately. Long story short, about the patient. Don't worry about the patient. She was better later on, you know. So everything's good, you know, in case you're worried about the patient. But that's not the point of this video. I was able to do that, you know, and then, you know, later on, a few minutes, I was like, should we check for responsiveness, pupil responsiveness, right? So then well, come on now, come on, flashlight. See, this is why this flashlight is my favorite, because I don't really like the UI. Yeah. Okay, I had it in this mode, which is much less upsetting to the eyes. and we're able to see if the patient's eyes dilated. What else is good about this flashlight? If this flashlight gets messy or dirty, if it gets blood or stool on it, it's waterproof. I can wash it. Can you wash your flashlight? Probably not. Your little cheap pen light? Probably not. Now, you're not into flashlights? That's cool. It's not your thing. But I tell you what, this thing's practical, and I use it all the time. I use it all the time. You know, your car breaks down in the middle of the night, what you going to do? You need a light. Power goes out, you need a light. You know, trying to see into some dark area that isn't lit well, like for instance, how about the other side of my desk? Because my lighting sucks. Messy desk. I know. This should just be like one of my many messages, you know, like videos from the messy desk. But, oh, see, now I've lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? They're practical. I use it all the time. Lighting up dark areas. You know, I fixed a copy machine. I had a flashlight, fix a copy machine, you know. They're just really, really practical. You know, it's really practical to have a flashlight. Now, since you've already, okay, now I'm on, you know, okay, you've decided you're a person who agrees with me and you think it's practical to have a flashlight. Okay. Now, you want your flashlight to be as versatile as you can, right? And you want your flashlight to function well. You don't want it to break down. That would be nice. How about a flashlight that, what if you drop it? What if you drop your flashlight and it works? You know, like maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. You know, and some flashlights, they test these things, others they don't. This flashlight I've got right here, my little desk light, is a cheapie. It's just a little cheapie that I have at the desk to help, you know, light things up. Get a little better illumination. It's not real bright. Doesn't have a bunch of modes. It's a pretty color, but, you know, this flashlight, I don't know how waterproof it is. I don't know. You know, I suppose I could test it, but I could ruin it in the process. People have tested these. And various other, you know, there's other good brands. And, you know, there's a whole forum of people who do flashlights, who are flashlight junkies. And they are way more hardcore than me. Candle Power forums. Those guys are nuts. Awesome. I love those guys. I think they're so cool. But I can't do what they do. Dude, I don't think I could make a comprehensive flashlight review ever. I don't think I could do it. Maybe. I don't know. I could try. You know, and you know, I know Nothing Fancy's done a bunch of flashlight reviews, and they're pretty good, but I tell you what, compared to the people at Candle Power forums, he doesn't know jack either. Those guys are like electricians, and they know all the wattages and everything, and the voltages, and the circuitry involved. I bet, you know, they've probably tapped into the industry, and they probably got people, you know, talking with them and stuff, you know, designers. You know, some of these guys might have been, you know, flashlight designers themselves, you know. So anyways, flashlights are huge. And you know, so there's kind of like, so you've got different kinds of lights for different kinds of purposes. All right, so you've got everyday like different markets for flashlights. One flashlight market is the just general use everyday people, and that's where you get your energizers. That's where you get these cheapy flashlights, and you know, they're just meant for, you know, whoever, you know, normal people who probably don't care that much about flashlights. Another group of people who you've got is people who are into Mr. Fix-It dudes. So you've got flashlights that are like for maintenance people and construction people and electricians and people who work with their hands and things like that. And they have kind of their own lights. Then you've got camping and outdoor lights, right? And that's kind of its own little market, you know. And you go to camping and outdoor stores and you'll see lights that are only in those, you know, kind of environments, okay? And then there's another market called tactical. And this is flashlights that are designed for soldiers, cops, mostly. Soldiers and cops, maybe firefighters, you know, maybe EMTs. And what we've started to do in the outdoor community, and you know, campers and stuff like that, and I think you know, Nothing Fancy might have had a lot to do with this. I don't know, but is we are adapting the tactical lights to the outdoor and camping and hiking usage. Reason being, because these are more versatile than the lights that are being made for camping. You know, most of the lights being made for camping are either lanterns or headlamps with a few handheld units. But by and large, it's headlamps and lanterns. You can, with a tactical light like this, and this is just one sampling. This is just the one that I had the most convenient. I didn't really feel like digging them all out. But that's just the one I have on me, the one I have convenient. And with tactical lights, Coach, this is actually a great example, because this is not a tactical light. It's inspired by tactical lights, but this is a tactical, I can't even get my finger, tactical light. This is a tactical light, quote unquote, that's designed for outdoor usage. And it works quite well. I've got a little bit of problems with it, but that's just me and my preference. So the light works well for an outdoor purpose because it's so versatile. What is typically done is you get a headband. Okay, you get a separate headband. I wonder if my headband's convenient. No, it's not. I'll roll it into another vid another time. But you can get a headband that goes around this thing and holds it in a little bracket, and you can put the headband on your head. Now you got a headlamp, right? And you can either buy or make diffuser tips, little cone things that are frosted white plastic. You can put over top of the head. I made my own for this one. It's pretty jank. It needs an upgrade, but it's what I got. But you put that cone on top, and then you turn that light on, and if this thing will tail stand like that, then you've got a lantern. So lantern, headlamp, and hand light all at once. Dude, come on. Not to mention the fact that you get a lot of different settings with these flashlights. Typically, you can get 6 or more settings with these flashlights. So you can have like a lot of your headlamps have low, medium, high, and then maybe a red or maybe a blinking. These will have low, medium, high, turbo, strobe, beacon, SOS. The list goes on and on. And then this one, well, see, this is why I hate this UI. This one right here has what's called moonlight mode. I don't know if they call it that, but that's the first manufacturer that made this had it. And it's just a super duper low. And I tell you, man, when you're going out into the woods and it's dark and your eyes are adjusted to the dark, this is enough, dude. I love this moonlight mode. Not everybody likes moonlight mode. I'm not gonna trip out on moonlight mode, but dude, it's like less than a lumen, and it's really energy efficient. It makes your flashlight last forever, dude. Like, I hardly ever have to change my batteries now because I use that low light setting, like to, get out of the house in the morning and stuff. I just about don't turn my lights on, and I just, there you go. Moonlight. Just moonlight my way around and get everything done and get going in the morning. And I hardly have to change my flashlight batteries. And that's cool to me. I like that. It's, that gets me excited. I'm like, yeah, dude, look, I can do what? Yeah, man, that's cool. So that's why tactical lights are cool. Now, all of this, casual viewers can turn off at this point. Though hopefully you're interested and want to hear what I have to say. But if not, it's all good. I don't blame you. Not everybody's in everything. But what started this was a conversation that I had with somebody at a local outdoor outfitters store. I'm trying to save my cash for the pilgrimage, don't get me wrong, but it is summer and I needed some clothes to wear, it was just really to that point, and I broke down and I went to the store, got some clothes. Didn't spend too much, and I specifically went when they had a sale and got some stuff on some good deals. That being said, I got into a conversation with a gentleman who was interested in a tactical light. And in the process of talking to him, I think he came to the conclusion that he wanted to educate himself more about lights so that he could make the choice that he wanted. Because I started presenting to him a lot of stuff of like, hey man, you might want to think about what your power source is before you start thinking about exactly which light you want to get, and what do you want to do with your light, what do you want out of your light. It sounds like he was just excited about cool lights and he just wanted to get one, didn't know where to start. So I started talking to him, and he was all like, hey, dude, give me your email. And I was like, sure, dude. So I gave him the Zen Viking email, So I said to him, dude, call me up. or not call me up, but email me, you know, over Zen Viking. I'm not super busy with my project, you know. I'll be glad to make a video for you. So the rest of this video is for him and anybody else who is interested in potentially getting into these kind of lights. Now, first things first, you do not have to spend $100 or $150 or $200 on a light for it to be good. What does that mean, Zen Viking? It basically means Surefire sucks. You know, like a lot of their lights seem to have 1 or 2 settings. They seem to be really overpriced to me. You know, I don't think they're worth it at all. Don't know about the people who work there, whether or not they're good people. I don't know. You know, I'm not dissing them per se. I'm just looking at the product and what's out there. And on one side of the case is Surefire stuff with, you know, limit. I picked up one yesterday. We were looking at the case. One of them had 2 settings. I was looking for the other settings, It had 2 settings. Okay, and it was $180. And another one right next to it on the other side was I think it's $60 light. Gobs of settings, gobs of options. You know, and it's just like, dude, like, and I've looked online and like, you know, the stuff that costs as much online from other brands as the Surefire stuff is way cooler. You know, they have like crazy dimmer rings and stuff, and like, you know, like USB like charging internal batteries and stuff, and it's like crazy, dude. Cool stuff, you know, like stuff that you're like, dude, I could see spending that much money. That's smooth, you know. But the Surefires, dude, I feel like they just exist on name alone. So first things first, dude, look elsewhere than Surefire. I would also say look elsewhere than what you're seeing at your local stores, man. If you go to a local outdoor outfitter, chances are they're just like their knife selection sucks, their flashlight selection just about sucks. They are not hip to what a lot of us are doing via new media and what we're talking about, and you know, the kinds of things that we're being able to see that's out there, and they're really stuck in the past. You know, so I would also look elsewhere. Candle Power Forums is fantastic, but it can be a little bit intimidating to the new user. Another place that you can look is goinggear.com. Goinggear.com is a good site because they do lots of little video reviews where they talk about stuff and they put a lot of detail up on their lights, and they seem to be really good business people too. So you might end up wanting to buy from them. That being said, I've used both of those in my research, and you know, a little bit of what I've learned from other reviewers and from, of course, from Nut and Fancy, who really got me, realizing that these were the lights to have. So that being said, if you're thinking about purchasing a light, the 2 brands that I personally recommend the best are Zebra Light, right here, and 4.7s and Phoenix. 4.7s, Phoenix are roughly comparable to each other, and then Zebra Light's kind of its own thing. But mostly, I would say 4.7s. I think my next light, and hopefully, I don't think I'm even going to be able to have the money for this light by the time I go on my pilgrimage to India. But my ideal light that I wish I could take with me there is a 4.7 light. I like it the best. But your mileage may vary. I got a buddy who really likes the Zebra light, so you know, whatever. But I think those 3 brands are a good place to start. You can break off into the Nitecore or some of the other brands, you know, and hell, to be honest, even Maglite has a couple of LED varieties that don't look too shabby, especially if you don't want to pay a lot. Another brand you might want to look at is Streamlight. Streamlight has some lights that I have not bought yet, but a lot of people like. So those are the brands you want to start looking at, and the brands that you can really you can trust those brands. Now, the first thing after that I think is worth looking at is, what is your philosophy of use? What do you want to do with your light? I want a light that does everything, has really bright brights, really high highs, and really low lows, because I want my batteries to last forever. Now, maybe you don't care about that, you know. You don't care that your batteries last forever. You're just going to pop in some new ones, no biggie. So once you got your, you know, whatever your philosophy of use is, whether it's camping, EDC, you know, keeping in the car, just showing off to your friends, you know, that's legitimate. Maybe you just want to buy the brightest flashlight you possibly can, dude. Maybe you want to buy 1,000 lumen, you know, like night core with a fan in it, you know, to cool it down. Like, maybe that's cool, do it, you know, but figure out your philosophy of use first, okay? Now, if your philosophy of use is similar to mine, and mine is EDC, and that means everyday carry for the lay people, EDC and camping and backpacking and hiking. So that being said, then you want to think about your power source, okay? Whether it be CR123, 14500, AA, AAA, 18650, whatever it is. Your normal batteries, like AA and AAA, are not the most powerful and not the most efficient batteries that you can use for flashlights. However, they are the most common. Okay? They are the most common. So if you get into a crappy situation and your flashlight batteries are dead, because most of the now let me clarify. No. Let's just talk about. Let me just talk about the commercial flashlight batteries. So your AA and AAA are not the most efficient battery. Cons. Here we go. Cons. Not the most efficient batteries out there. Oh, I'm so tongue-tied. I'm leaving it in. I'm pushing through. They're not the most efficient batteries that are out there. They're not the most powerful, but they are common. And the fact that they're common makes them easy. Okay? You can find them anywhere you want. Right? If you need alkalines to replace your rechargeables, blam, you can find them. They're all over the world. You know, I run with AA's. I like AA. But AAA is good too. You know, you can run with AAA. Consider the power source. Also, there's a lot of stuff that's AA compatible, right? So you take your batteries out of your flashlight. If you don't need it for your flashlight, put it in your other device that you do need. Batteries are interchangeable, right? And maybe that's important for you. For me, for this guy, for Zen Viking, that's important. I like my batteries to be interchangeable. I don't like having a whole bunch of different kinds of batteries. That drives me buggy. I like everything to fit. I like everything to work. Now, that being said, I do deviate a little bit, just out of sheer interest. Like, ooh, 18650 is huge and powerful. Wow, like this one, for example, runs in a 14500 and a AA, so I can put a 14500 in it most of the time, and then if I have a bad situation, I can pop a AA in, no problem. So that brings us to those are a few different power sources. Or battery types. Let's jump to the other battery types, which are the exotics. The exotics, there's a lot more than I know about, but the ones I know about, three of them. One is the CR123, one is the 18650, and one is the 14500. You'll really have to research your lights and probably get into those to really get a lot of detail as to which one is comparable to which. But there are a lot of lights that run with those three batteries, especially the CR123. The CR123 is a very popular battery, and I would not be surprised if in the future it begins to become as popular as AA and AAA. I've started to see lithium-ion disposable versions of those batteries, even not just rechargeable ones. Also, all these exotic batteries rechargeable. Every single one of them. Those are all with the few exceptions of the CR123s, the 14500s, the 18650s. All these batteries you got to buy them rechargeable, and that's all there is to it. And sometimes it can be a lot to jump into, like, I want to do tactical lights and then jump into I want to do rechargeable batteries, because that's a whole other set of products that you got to deal with. Chargers and batteries and brands, and are they not surge protected, but overcharge protected, and all this nonsense. It's really hard to keep track of all that stuff. So it might be just a bit much for you to try to get into those battery types, but they are out there. Gosh, this is long. So the next thing that you want to pay attention to is the user interface. does the user interface work for you? It's not just it's not just as easy as clicking a button sometimes. You've got user interfaces where, see, this one has a user interface where the number of times you press on the button determines what happens. So if I hit it, if I press the button and hold it, I get my low. Okay? If I tap the button, this is going to wash the camera out, but if I tap the button, it'll go on to high. If I hit the button twice, it goes to medium. And then there's other stuff that you can access from there, but this is not a review of the Zebra light or its UI. All their lights run like that. The Phoenix and the I should say the 4.7s usually has a tail button over here, and you click that tail button and you click it once for low, click it on, click it back on, click it off, click it back on for medium, click it off, click it back on for high, and then you twist the bezel up here. This part, which doesn't twist on this one, but you twist the bezel, and then you get other functionality. So there's like 2 different sets of functionality. I have an eagle tag. My eagle tag just ramps right up. Turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off to get at the different settings, and you have to do it multiple times. Phoenix used to, all their lights used to run like the 4.7s, where it has the tail switch and then the bevel movement, but they have started to go over to 2 buttons, a button on the back and a button on right here. So the back button turns it on, and then the button here changes the functionality. You know, maybe you like that one better. I don't, and I don't plan on buying any of those lights. But I think it sucks. But maybe for your mileage might vary. You know, maybe it's something that you like. So you know, that would be your next concern, is your user interface. Does your user interface work for you? The next most important thing is the ergonomics. Does it fit well in your hand? And you know, how well does it carry in your system? Because yes, you should have a system. You know, walking around all willy-nilly with a light is all fine and good, but it's a hell of a lot more fun and a lot more efficient if it's in a system. And we can talk systems later if we want, but this video is almost a half an hour long, and I think I have said my piece. Don't you? Yeah. I'm a long-winded son bitch, ain't I? Anyways, so there's just a little bit about tactical lights, why I use them, why people use them, why people would do anything, and a little bit of information for new people who want to get into them, and where they should look and what they should be interested in. So yeah, those in case you stuck on this long, those 2 websites that I recommend are Candle Power Forums, goinggear.com. You can also see some good stuff on Amazon. Honestly, the Amazon stuff isn't as good. And hit up YouTube, dude. A lot of YouTube reviewers out there, you know, who will review very specific lights. If there are any videos that you want to see based on this, let me know, dude. I'll make another video. Sometimes you know, I don't know exactly what you guys are, you know, what to make a video on, and sometimes one of your questions might inspire me to make a video. I had my video that I did on on getting a passport was just because, you know, one of the people I was talking to at work asked me about it. So, you know, if you've got an idea for a video, let me know, and I'll be glad to help you out. Always, your comments and subscriptions are appreciated. I love you guys, even though there's only 15 of you right now. All 15 of you my pals, though. And, you know, I'm just going to keep on rocking on. So, anyways, this is Zen Viking, rocking out.